We did it. Look right here. You see what I see? Look right here. It's just a little hair. You know, like the tortoise. Let's look under the table. Do you see anything? Do you see anything under the table? Neither do I. Let's try one more time. Will you all help me, please? Wave your hand and snap. We did it. Look, a real live bunny rabbit out of the hat.
That was kind of fun. I figured I would lead with a great magician pulling a bunny rabbit out of a hat, because that's exactly what we need to do to make money in this market right now. It's a down market. I'm going to go ahead and bounce right into it with coinmarketcap.com. For those of you who have been following me for a little while now, a couple of weeks, you know that I said several weeks back, right from the beginning, we have just shifted to a downtrending market. One of the great, but all hope is not lost by a long shot. One of the great aspects about the cryptocurrency market is it does everything faster than every other market. That's because it's the most speculative, newest market. It has the lowest friction to get in and out. In a lot of ways, that's changing to a certain extent. Yes, we've had some big news today. The Japanese market was totally hacked for nearly, $750 million, and yet the total market cap of all the cryptocurrencies has only dropped marginally, not through the floor. The flip side is we've had some phenomenal good news with India listing Litecoin on what is the equivalent of Coinbase, their application. I think it's called ZeroPay or ZenPay or something like that. Then we've had Robinhood saying that they're going to be introducing feeless trading for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the major platform currencies, or I should say major cryptocurrencies on their platform, but only in a couple of states. So I think that impact has been overrated. Also, one thing that I want to clarify immediately was that the futures that have expired today, supposedly we're going to release the market and it was going to rise again dramatically, and not much of that has happened. I had said that a while ago, that the futures have very minimal impact. There are no Bitcoins associated with any of the future contracts. It's completely a speculation on top of the actual Bitcoin. There is no link to them. There's no way to take delivery on them. So the futures market is a non-issue, in my opinion. At some point, it may become more of one, but at this point, it's a non-issue. Now, if an ETF goes out there and starts vacuuming up lots of Bitcoin, that is a big issue. But it's not a future. It's not a derivative. It's actually buying the Bitcoins, and that would make the Bitcoin trading pairs. It would make it a massive difference. So there was a right call on that. But let's get into a couple of tips and tricks on how to trade the cryptocurrency market that I have learned after years and years and years of not only trading, but also trading specifically the cryptocurrency market. Tip number one, ideally, you would like to buy projects or coins that are not listed quite yet on the major markets. Okay? That goes counterintuitive to what a lot of people say. You'll hear it all the time. Don't buy a currency unless it's listed on a market I already trade, which could be a Binance, a Bittrex, maybe a Cryptopia. Cryptopia lists virtually every coin out there. Some of the big ones, a BitHum, CoinOne, all of these. I will frequently buy projects well before they are listed on a major exchange, because what happens is when they get listed on the major exchange, and this is tip number two, you get a huge pop in the value. Immediately, with that pop, sell out a chunk, because the habit is virtual, or the pattern is virtually irrefutable. Every time your coin moves to a major, it just happened to PIVX a couple of days ago. Every time a coin moves to a major exchange, it will get a dramatic pop. Sell out a portion, take a profit. Otherwise, you're going to be swept down. It happened with PIVX. I think PIVX went as high as 14. It's now down at 9, something like that. And that's just because it was listed. So that's one thing that you want to take into consideration. You want to find projects before they're listed on the major exchanges, and you want to sell out the minute they do get listed on the major exchange at a profit, some portion of it. I'm not giving anybody financial advice. I'm just telling you what I do. The other thing is, it's very tempting to jump on a project that is rising dramatically. I don't think we have many examples of that today, but DigX DAO is one, or Ryblox. Wait. I rarely, if ever, will buy into a project that's bouncing up more than, say, 20% is okay. 30%, no. 90 and 100%, you're waiting for a crash the next day. Smart Cash is a perfect example of that. I saw it moving up several days. Syndicator just recently was pumped up. What you're seeing is a pump. You're not seeing a natural uptrend, generally speaking. So don't jump on it. That's tip number 3, I think. Tip number 4, it's very tempting to buy as many cryptocurrencies as you possibly can because they all tend to sound great. Do not take a shotgun approach to your portfolio. Take a sniper approach, meaning choose carefully, choose wisely, and here's what your focus, in my opinion, ought to be. And this is what I've been telling everybody who's been following my channel. And by the way, I would say anybody who has followed what I've done, because I'm just telling you what I do, what I think is a good idea, has had very positive returns while the entire market has been down. Almost every other channel that you could possibly visit, and if I'm wrong, somebody tell me, but almost every other channel, or somebody tell me the channel that has correctly advised on how to steer through this. I don't think there is anybody. Bluntly, I think I'm it. And that's partly because I've got more experience than most of the people in terms of trading, and partly because just of my perspective. It's not that I'm any smarter or anything like that. It's just that I happen to have made some calls that are verifiable on YouTube that have made my portfolio rise significantly, and anybody who's followed the same advice significantly over virtually every other channel I've called. All of them are saying, hold on, it's going to come back, it's going to come back. I'm going to get to that. I think that's dead wrong advice. It's been dead wrong advice. It'll continue to be dead wrong advice. And there are ways to make money, and I'm going to discuss those. One, you need to learn how to trade. That's one of the reasons why I created this site, coinpicker.us. Go ahead and sign up. You sign up by clicking on this, put in your email, and I send updates. In fact, I'll be sending an update here shortly. My updates have been relatively accurate. The market is just trending. I said it wasn't going to be rising up dramatically. In fact, I said the other day it's going to pop up a little bit and it's going to be a downward trend. That's exactly what happened. It went down fairly significantly on the order of 10%, but I'm going to update that. But what I also do is I pick some projects that I think are favorable in the short term and give you my long-term projections. And this is the custom algorithm that I use for trading and identifies projects that are outperforming to the upside and have very good trends in place that you can jump on and ride for a period of time. It's not necessarily going to identify reversals, although that's possible too, because what ends up happening is if you get at this point, the projects that are at this top level, they're moving so far so fast that at some point, not too distant future, you're going to get a reversal. If you were in a shorting market, if you could short, you would do that. We're not in that market. So basically what you want to do is find projects that are more in this range and sometimes up here as well, and you can ride those higher because they have a way to go. But that's what this does. It gives you the trend indicator and the momentum in the trend. So tip number, what am I at? Tip number 5 or 6. Find projects not that have the highest thought of how much they'll rise and how much somebody on YouTube has told you that they're going to be the next great thing. Now, on a down day, look at that project and find out how far it went down relative to the general market. You want projects, or look for projects that go down either less than the general market, significantly so, or move counter trend. I am the one who selected Walton as the single project. It's way down at number 35. Nobody picked it. I selected it. Said if you're going to hold one coin in any market, up or down, that's the coin. And that coin has already gone through the market peak and dropped down. I mean, when the market nosedived, and it's reached new highs. Okay? Don't think anybody don't think any other analysts have done that. I did that. And the reason I did it was because I was looking at it, not because I wanted to find the most moonshot coin. No. I want to find the coin that has the highest level of stability in a down market or moves reverse trend, knowing that that would be eventually a moonshot coin. And that's exactly what's happened thus far. There are some other examples of that. But that's a huge tip. Huge tip. The other thing If you're going to hold positions in particular coins for any length of time, meaning, in my book, a week or longer, which is most of you, I trade in and out, but a week or longer, pull the funds off the exchange. Other than maybe Bitcoin, because it's a royal freaking pain. I do not hold Bitcoin. I hold, as some of you who followed me know, I hold Ethereum. Because Ethereum is exhibiting exactly what I've been saying. Less downward trend, and it's by percentage-wise a significant amount, but less downward trend and more upside potential than Bitcoin. So I do not hold Bitcoin, and it's easier to move around. Faster confirmations, less expensive, although it is a bit pricey these days, a little bit more with the gas. But those are 5 or 6 tips that you will be so far ahead of anybody else trading. They're not even in the same league with those tips. Most people are beginning to recognize that when a coin moves onto a big exchange, it's going to get a pump. You want to sell out at that point. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is you don't want to buy the coin when it hits the big exchange. You want to be in it before then, and it's easy to do. It's not that hard. There are 5,000 coins and only 270 or 250 are listed on Binance or Bittrex or anything like that. Cryptopia has far more, but Cryptopia is not going to dramatically impact the price of a coin, but a Binance, a Bittrex, a BitHum, a CoinOne, Bitfinex, those will. Maybe even a Poloniex will too. So those are the tips there. Now I'm going to also discuss briefly an ICO phase project called Peculium. I am not a fan. I am not impressed. Somebody commented and asked me to look at it. Why am I not a fan, not impressed? Well, number one, it's on Ethereum. Ethereum's blockchain is too overloaded to be effective. Number two, it is making brash claims that it will be able to outperform the market using AI engines for investment. If you've ever heard of Renaissance Hedge Fund, I can assure you Renaissance Hedge Fund, the people behind it are leagues ahead of the people behind Peculium in terms of how they manipulate and how they work with AI. And Renaissance got its head handed to it in the markets multiple times. Geniuses, PhDs in mathematics, know all about AI, couldn't make it work. So Peculium, it uses a lot of buzzwords. They've done a nice job on the white paper. I would not buy in. It's not to say that it might do well eventually. I am not a buyer. Not only that, it has something like 8 billion tokens, 11 billion total. Not the sign of a project that's going to be delivering mega returns in my book, especially since it's on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's my opinion on Peculium. For whoever asked, I hope I didn't rain on anybody's parade, but I'm here to rain reality, not sunshine or rain, just reality. What else is there to talk about? Oh, one last very critical statement, okay? If I didn't emphasize that enough. And it is this. We are not very far away from major stock indexes rolling over hard. I have proposed the thesis that the crypto market was the early warning indicator on that. I labeled it around, January, February, March. So we're already out of January, February, March, no later than April-ish, the markets, and I mean specifically at this point the NASDAQ. The S&P and the Dow may hold on longer somewhat, but the NASDAQ, in my opinion, is going to roll over fairly hard. In fact, several of the markets could roll over fairly hard. And since Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets are anything but gold, even though there's been many comparisons, it's an alternative currency indeed in its own way, but they're not going to behave like gold, and they haven't behaved like gold. I see the cryptocurrency market downturn accelerating because what people will be doing is they will be getting conservative and pulling back. That is my call. I could be flat wrong, but I do not think I will be. There are two elements to this call, that the NASDAQ or the S&P or Russell 5000 or Wilshire or the Dow Jones, but my call is the NASDAQ is going to be rolling over fairly hard within the next 2 months. It could happen sooner. In fact, I wouldn't doubt it if it does happen sooner. But if it doesn't happen by around April or so, then I'm wrong. then I'm wrong. You know, it might continue on and on, but I don't see that happening. And when it does, the crypto market will suffer more. It will not recover. It will suffer more. There are still wonderful trading opportunities. Another video on that, but there are tremendous trading opportunities. Long term, the crypto market is going to be taking over, but at this point, we're going to have to go through some challenges. So that is coinpicker.us. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you would. And also sign up at coinpicker.us for my email newsletter, which will be going out here shortly, and with all my tips and long-range forecasts and short-range forecasts and specific projects that I like right now. And go ahead and hit the notification and the like button, and that'll do it. Thank you so much. It is coinpicker.us.